zombies in your neighborhood making it unsafe for you to go outside? Are the devils and demons plaguing you in your own home, making it so you can't sleep? Have you called normal exterminators? Have they been unable to solve your problem? Of course they have. You need someone with special skills. You need... Oh, not that video. Oh, okay, so... Sorry about that. That's kind of awkward. We'll just move over here real quick. Just trying to get some of that blood off my face there. Oh, it's a bloody rag. Oh, never mind. Well, hi, I'm Norry. Welcome to Halloween Hell Week. I hope you're enjoying everything. I hope you have time to check out my books. You can find me on jnorry.com. Thanks so much for stopping by, and happy Halloween. Hi, I'm Norry. I would like to read a short story today for you from my world of Zombie Zero. The short story is called Alan's Stride. Alan lifted his tired eyes to the sky. It was clearer than before, already less choked with pollution and more blue for it. There were more birds chirping than he remembered ever hearing before, too, but that could have been due to his self-absorption. There had always been somewhere to be before. Now the only place to be was wherever he might find a scrap of food, and that was a place Alan seldom found himself these days. It must have been days since he had seen a living, breathing person, and that had been Elena. Some brave folks had rounded up all the dead and burned them, but that had been days before that. She had been his only touchstone for reality, and after losing her, Alan hadn't been able to bear the thought of going outside. It wasn't long before he ran out of food, however, and his gnawing hunger had drawn him out. He was glad for it. The sun felt warm on his face, and it felt good to walk with nowhere particular to go. In his hectic other life, thoughtful moments had been few and far between. This life was full of them. The bright sunlight pulled his thoughts from the dark furrows etched in his mind, and happy memories lifted the corners of his mouth in a slight smile. It seemed strange to wait until after the apocalypse to count his blessings, but there it was. For some reason he was walking fast, falling into a frantic, hurried pace automatically. Alan slowed his stride deliberately and thought back to another sunny day. All his good times had been with her, after nearly everyone else had died, but before Elena had met her own violent end. They had been sweet, tender moments, and Alan had known love in those moments. He had heard every story she could remember from her childhood at least twice, and he had tasted her precious lips 1,000 times. She had only joked once that the only reason they were together was because he was the last man on earth to her. When she had seen how it hurt him, she had rushed to explain. Elena had told him that she had been wired all wrong, and she knew it. Still, she couldn't resist the magnetic pull of the wrong guy when she felt it. And Elena's life, before the fall, had been a string of wrong guys punctuated by cartons of ice cream. The obvious moral to the story was that her choices being narrowed to him had made her happy at last, at least in love. The underlying lesson for him had been her sweet sensitivity. Telling the tale, she had noticed he was as hurt by the talk of other guys as he had been by her initial comment. After that, she had never mentioned either again. She did mention ice cream, enough times to make him crave it too, but their searching had turned up nothing but dried lumps of goo and freezers long gone warm. Alan slowed his stride, even more as he passed a partially intact storefront. Most of the glass had been broken and hung in shards or gathered in glittering piles on the sidewalk. One pane had been left whole, and it reflected the sun in his eyes for a moment as he paused before it. It was right at eye level, and coated in grime on the inside. The slime soot made the pane into a mirror, and Alan saw his own face for the first time in a good long while. The skin that had once been his eyelids had rotted away almost completely, and the rusted red orbs staring back at him were glazed and sunken in their sockets. His cheeks were hollowed, pale slabs of flesh, and they looked thin enough for him to poke his tongue right through them. There was a dry drop of blood on his chin, but it wasn't his. Alan watched his own monstrous reflection as he licked at the spot hungrily. That would be the very last of Elena. He had picked her bones clean hours ago. A low primal cry split the air, a hungry howl that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. Alan answered with a howl of his own, and it drowned in a chorus of others as he followed the scent of fresh, living flesh. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thanks very much for putting together this event to Michael Elliott, and thanks very much to you for watching the video and for taking part. Happy Halloween, everybody.